Hi everyone, welcome back. This video is going to be about a new project for us. As you can see behind me, we've got two new projects in the workshop. We've got a 1969 911E. That's seen better days. It's like a Fred Flintstone car, no flaw in it. And it has been acid dipped, but at some point it's also been coated, which is all falling off, but it's better than the 356 that turned up that had been acid dipped. But this series is going to be about this Karmann Ghia. So this is a Karmann Ghia convertible. Don't see too many of them. It's in pretty poor shape in terms of it's missing a lot of panels. So a lot's been cut out. No boot floor, no front wing, some poor repairs at the back, but not too much rust to deal with. So fingers crossed this is going to be our next Volkswagen project. But yeah, as you can see, we're a long way off of that. So let's do a quick walk around. Okay, straight into it. I'm going to lift the body off and give the whole body a real good inspection. Okay, so I've just popped the body off the chassis just to have a good look around, make sure all the structural areas are solid, or see if there's any rust that we couldn't see with it down on the chassis. So first inspections, heater channels are actually really good, which is pretty unusual. But yeah, they're really solid, no signs of rust. But something that is interesting is I think it's had channels out of another car. It's a bit of an odd one. So I actually think the bottom 6 inches of the car has been replaced with a body cut off of another car. So this patch here, not uncommon for them to rust here, so you'd think, oh, that's just a patch that's been put in. But it finishes at this height, which finishes here, and when you look, that's had a weld line all the way through it. Again, not typical, not uncommon, but you then start to see this weld line follow through all the A-pillar. Don't know if you can see in there. I'm actually casting a shadow so you can't see. But that weld line runs at the same height all the way through there. And we've got factory spot welds through here. So that, if I'm honest, looks like a body cut. And obviously you've got your heater channel or your sill. And then you've got the same weld line at the same height through here and through here. So it kind of looks like that whole section, and again on the inside of the A-post, it's at the same height all the way through. You know, it's not uncommon for these areas to be repaired separately, but for it to be at the same height all the way through every single panel that runs at this height suggests to me that the car's kind of being cut off 6 inches high and 6 inches from another car put in, and it's exactly the same this side. Not a problem necessarily. Obviously we'll address some of this because it's not the prettiest work, but I'm quite keen to get the body bolted down to the chassis and just see what the door gaps are like, because obviously that's your main strength through the car there, and if the car's essentially been cut into two pieces and then put back together, the door gaps might not be right. On top of that, we've got some pretty gnarly repairs around the wheel arch and the rear corner and the lower corner. Bottom of the wing this side is the same, pretty grim. Random patch here. Actually, that's a patch and it's had the front put on as well through here. It's that big patch there. Bottoms of the inner front quarters need repair. Yeah, it's not horrendous, but not great. Wheel arches had the same treatment this side, as you can see. Rear corner chopped off this side. And then, yeah, obviously we've got no boot boot floor here at all. So we need to put the boot floor in, rear cross members here, rear body mounts are gnarly, so they need doing. So it's actually quite a sizable job, but not anything you would be too worried about. Obviously rear wheel tub's a bit gnarly. We've just got little perforated areas like that, both sides as well. So yeah, like I say, I think I'm going to start by putting the body back on the floor pan. We'll get the body mounts all bolted down, check the door gaps, hopefully they're in the right ballpark. And then we can formulate a plan to start making it solid again. It's important to bolt the body down to the chassis when checking the door gaps because the body does flex when it's not bolted down. And this flex in the body will affect all of your panel gaps. With the body bolted down, now I can start adjusting the door gaps. Okay, so the body is now bolted down to the chassis in all of the main key areas. We've got 2 body mounting points on top of the beam here. There's then 4 that run across this bulkhead, 2 in each corner, so they're fully bolted down. And then in the back, there's 1 in each rear wheel arch, sort of around here and around here. And then there's 2 on each side of this rear torsion tube, but obviously I can't bolt those down because we haven't got the panels fitted in the car. So that's as bolted down as this body is going to get at the moment. Now, if they're not bolted down or if they're at funny heights or whatever, that can affect the door gaps, which is why I wanted to bolt that down. And I've also now put all of the bolts in the door hinges and tightened them up and spent a bit of time adjusting the doors. And I am pleasantly surprised, considering this car would have effectively been in 2 halves at one point, because it would have been this panel here and the same on the other side were obviously removed. So we'd have had a back section and a front section. And yeah, the door gaps are actually pretty good considering. I haven't got any latches on at the moment, which is a good thing. You don't want the latches pulling the door into position. So these are just free swinging. Height I've got set pretty well. Pretty decent gap down the back and down the front. So yeah, this side's pretty good. Moving around to the other side, it's pretty similar, to be fair. Height's not bad. Pretty even gap down the back. Obviously I can't check the front wing gap because there's no front wing. So if I'm honest, I'm pleasantly surprised considering the work that this car has had in the past. So yeah, ultimately I think everything's in the right place. It's been done pretty well in terms of it's all in the right place. It just needs to be a bit prettier. So I'm not going to start from the beginning and redo all of that work. I'm just going to make it a little bit better looking, and then we can really get stuck into some of the other repair work that we've got to do. This isn't a open checkbook build, so we've got to keep an eye on funds, but equally so we want to try and make this as right as possible. So first thing I'm going to do is actually attack these rear body mounts. We know that all of the front where it mounts is pretty solid and pretty good. We have got some grot in these rear body mounts, so I'm going to repair those, rear cross members, and then get the boot floor in, and then we pretty much have a solid shell. It's just aesthetic stuff then. So yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, so we're in the metalwork room now. I'm ready to start work. Just to show you again, pretty decent door gap here, nice and level at the top. So I'm just going to bosh a quick brace across here because I'm going to be cutting this out and I don't want all of this to move. It may not move, there's still a lot of strength in the shell, but I just want to be safe rather than sorry. So yeah, I'm then going to, let's get this torch on the go. So we're going to cut this panel out, this big square panel, maybe 10mm outside that. As you can see, it's had some pretty gnarly repair work through here, and on the inside it's all pretty horrid as well. So that's why we're going to replace this panel. We're going to do it on the chassis, just to make sure that the body is lined up where it needs to be, and yeah, get some strength back into this. Right, let's get cutting.
It's always a good idea with the convertible to make sure that the body's sitting square. So here I'm just using a tape measure to measure from one corner to the other to use as a reference to make sure that the body doesn't twist during the restoration. With the body sitting square, I can now weld in some door braces.
Right, as you can see, we've got our rear body mount panel in now. It's lined up here, nice little bolted down, fits pretty well across the top and down the back. But there's a big gap here. This comes in too sharply. These panels are advertised for Beetles and Karmann Ghias, so obviously this shape must be slightly different on the Karmann Ghia. So I'm going to shrink this bottom edge here and try and reshape that so it meets the contour of the inner wheel tub. Okay, so that is the body mount finish this side. I'm going to do this little piece when we've got the rear cross member in, just so I know exactly what height that goes in, but yeah, that's come out all right. Okay, same again on this side. We're going to cut this whole body mount out. It's 3 panels that come together, and you can see all of these repair patches and rust and grot in here. So yeah, we're going to lop that out and get that repaired. Okay, so just like the other side, I've tech screwed it in. I've had to reshape this area to get it to fit nice with this contour. And again, I've sliced here because this shape is different compared to a Beetle as well. So it's now ready to yeah, cut in and weld up. Okay, and that is that wheel arch finish now as well. So we've got 2 solid body mounts, and we can start looking at getting the boot floor and rear cross members in. So these are the 2 panels that I cut out, just in case anyone thought it was a bit excessive to remove these, because they largely look good. Obviously someone's done a little repair here. You flip it over, you can see all of the rust inside. This is three sheets spot welded together. You've got the bracket, this big strengthener piece, and then sort of the wheel arch here. So that's 3 pieces. And you can just about make out where the rust is starting to burst through the wheel arch panel. So what happens is that this 3-layer piece just starts rusting from the inside out. So yeah, while it initially looks quite good, I guarantee if I split that apart, it'd be really rusty on the inside. So yeah, it's better to cut the whole thing out. And then yeah, likewise with this, it's had some repair work before. And yeah, you can maybe just make out where it's starting to blow apart there. So yeah, in this case, same as a Beetle, just best to lop it out and replace the whole thing. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. in the next one, we're going to try and get the boot floor, rear cross members, and hopefully stuck into some of the other metalwork on the car. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, guys. It really helps the channel grow. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.